The first remembrance I have in my life is my mother awakening in the middle of the night, unable to breathe. She had asthma. I was very scared. My greatest concern was that my mother could die. And I promised to myself then, kind of secretly promised to myself, that I will cure this disease. And I have pursued that painstakingly and stubbornly.
Regents Professor Fernando Martinez may yet make good on that pledge. He's the director of the Arizona Respiratory Center, as well as the new director of the University of Arizona's Bio5 Institute. But Martinez is first and foremost a physician.
Is it getting any better? Or? I have seen literally thousands of patients with the disease that I'm interested in. I know how variable it is, and therefore I know how heterogeneous the causes of the disease may be. I know how terrible it is for the patients, and therefore there's a sense of urgency and of focus.
Martinez came to the United States during a time of turmoil in his native Chile.
Pinochet took power, and I was the president of the Medical Student Council, and we opposed the coup. Naive as we were that we would be listened to, and of course that was enough for us to be persecuted. And I had to leave the country, essentially.
A tumultuous beginning that would prove beneficial to the University of Arizona.
One of the things we've tried to do here at the Arizona Respiratory Center, in large measure led by Fernando and his brilliance, is to work with studies to try to understand two key things. How does asthma develop? What are the determinants of asthma? Why do children get it? How does it progress into adulthood? And the second one is, how do we manage it better?
Asthma doesn't have one cause. There's no single part of ourselves that determines these diseases. In part it is because we're susceptible to the environment. In part it's because we inherited the wrong genes. In part it's a combination of these two. Very specific.
Martinez's childhood promise to cure asthma hit a wall of complexity that runs through many of today's grand challenges in all fields of science.
For the things that we needed to understand until today, the paradigms that we have used have been successful. But there's no reason to believe they're going to be successful for problems that are much more intractable. It's as simple as that. We need to try new approaches.
As director of Bio5, Martinez oversees teams of scientists tapping into the power of a new paradigm, that of the genetic basis of all life.
If we're going to understand the essence of what we are, it's not going to be in a single laboratory. Believe me, we'll need ethicists, we'll need biologists, we'll need physicians, we'll need representatives of the public. These are complicated issues, cannot be solved in one laboratory.
Basically, coming over here gives me an opportunity to work with the very best people in the world and also use the latest technology and apply this to asthma. Now we have the ability to measure the whole genome and what it's doing in every person. So, we can collect millions of data points in one day for each person. So we really have an opportunity now to characterize disease processes at an unprecedented level of detail.
Samples there and send the samples to us. That's just what I was thinking today.
And definitely what I bring to the table is my expertise in environmental pollution and environmental exposures, but just a little bit of information, and then he's already got a whole new set of ideas for me to go test and evaluate and look at, which is really incredible.
And I would argue that that Renaissance nature to his knowledge base is why he's going to be such a success with Bio5, because Fernando can sit down with people who do completely disparate things and bring them together.
Although he has major administrative duties now, one day Martinez would like to get back to treating patients.
The number of degrees of freedom of what you can study is so enormous that somebody needs to tell you what is relevant, what is important. But I'm interested in what I promised to myself when I was 5 years of age. I want to find a solution for this disease.
All right, we say hello? Yeah, thank you.
If you tell me what I'm going to do when I finally retire, I would spend my life listening to opera. Music is my absolute passion. All the stuff that makes you think and leaves you thinking. If you tell me what's my favorite group, Talking Heads is my favorite group. Do you know what Talking Heads is?
And as F. Scott Fitzgerald said, was that the mark of a rigorous mind, of a brilliant mind, is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in it at the same time, and Fernando does that.
There's a very interesting thing that happens with research discoveries. 1 second before the discovery occurs, nobody thinks about the discovery. 2 seconds after the discovery occurred, people say, duh, it's, you know what I mean? But you have no way to know 1 second before which is the discovery that is going to give you the duh. You see what I mean? Which is the area of reason. You just have to do it. That's what the wonder, but also the challenge and the frustration of discovery is.